Survivors lit out through the wastes to save their starving hides by finding tools to bend their fates and push back the end times. Greetings and welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I'm Jim, I use he, him pronouns, and this is our short campaign of Casket Land. This is an occult western game by Marie Enger that's set in the end times and is powered by the apocalypse. Just as a reminder for folks that this channel is currently still involved in a donation drive for the Bail Project. That is through our Sprawl campaign that we do on Thursday nights. We are Team Phyllis. So feel free to check out that link if you'd like to donate to a good cause. They help provide bail assistance to protesters, which is incredibly freaking important right now. Also, of course, for anyone who might be interested, I like to raise awareness about Campaign Zero, which is an organization dedicated to ending police violence. So if you folks would check those out, I would very much appreciate it. Let us go around and see once again who we have playing and who they're playing in these end times. And we shall start with Alyx.
Hello. I am Tony Moon, pronoun she, they, the barber of Casket Land.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for the sub, by the way. Much appreciated, much appreciated. Very good, very good. And now let us head over to Kestrel. Hello.
Hey, I am Kestrel, right? I will be playing Amelia Bird, the Drifter. I think that's all. There was some subclass thing I can't remember the name of. Outcast? Yeah, Outcast.
Good, good. And now let us head over to Kenny. Hello.
Hello. I'm Kenny. I'm playing Dux, he, him. He is the down on his luck gambler who may or may not still have consumption.
It's entirely possible. One never knows. One never knows. And now let us head over to Marlo. Hello.
Hi, I'm Marlo. I'm playing Angie. She's the murderous barback. She's also not pregnant, as we learned last time. Also, I'm doing this Mirage thing this game, so I'm here for it.
Excellent. Good, good. That means they'll never know when you're about to strike.
There you go.
Very cool. And now let us head over to Joel. Hello.
I am Joel Kensel, playing John Lazarus, a miner who has returned from the deep, deep pits of the earth more often than a rational person would think would happen.
Yes. Yeah.
And we both use he, him.
Awesome. Excellent, excellent. So, as a reminder, like we do with most games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it, or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're all still doing okay. Now, as we settle into Casket Land, it is night of day 1, which means that the first day, the first 3 gulps of water have been taken by everyone, at least. We are at a point where we had survivors who were brought out of town by Loam, who was trying to help them find water, brought them to see another one of the desert mad folk named Salt, and she was able to identify that and tell them that there is a cult, the cult that does their death practices up on top of the Rusted Butte have water. And so that's probably going to be the only chance for the town's survival. And she suggested before going to see them that they might want to gather one or more artifacts that would help them against the cult, one way or another. She called out a few different items. She called out the scalpel of a chirurgeon, the coin of a god, the scythe of a god, or the cauldron of a sage hen. And they knew that they'd have time to get one, maybe two of these artifacts before the water runs out, and they have to be there at the Rusted Butte. And they decided to go after the scythe. So Loam, who knows where all of these items are, didn't know which ones until Salt said, but now Loam was able to, now that they knew which way they wanted to go, was able to lead them there. Has taken them out southwest through a long dark tunnel that comes out not very far from the Bone Quarry, wherein lies a lake of bone. And it is said that all of the things that are buried in Casket Land have their bones end up in this lake, which is shining in the moonlight. Nice, this white that's coming off of the bones in the lake. It's in this sort of evening light that it's, as you're looking at it, it's like sometimes the surface of the lake maybe seems to move and you're not sure if it's actually moving or if it's just a trick of the light. And Loam is going to step in the direction of the lake. Just kind of nod at it. What's everyone doing?
I'm looking at everybody else.
Yeah. Angie's going to turn to Tony and say, how many of them bones you think are from you killing people?
Only a handful of that. This was here long before I found my hobbies.
Maybe so.
There's a lot of bones in a hand.
That's confusing. Yeah, it's true though. Yeah. I'm not comfortable with this. I'm backing up a little bit from it and waiting for everyone else to go forward.
I'll follow up closely behind Loam.
I'd be a little in the middle somewhere, wanting to go ahead, but also a little anxious about the cultists and not wanting to be in the front or the back.
So
Yeah. Angie's followed Loam as well. She's right behind him.
Cool. So Loam is going to step up to near the edge of this lake. He's sort of looking down at it. He kind of cocks his head. He's standing there leaning on his staff. He seems to close his eyes for a second. And John, you can hear for a second as though this voice, the voice you hear when you're near Loam, saying, "Yes, it is still here." And Loam opens his eyes, and he looks at you all, and he points. He points to the lake. Points to the middle of the lake.
Is it at the bottom? Out in the middle, somewhere under.
How do we find the middle?
He just sort of looks at it. He sort of closes his eye. He lines up and just sort of his staff. He looks. He will. He'll move a little bit. And from where about he's standing, he's going to draw an X. And then he starts walking around the side of the lake.
This guy's crazy.
I think he's doing some sort of calculation.
You see him stop. He just kind of does this. And then he draws something else, which you presume is another X, based on the motions of his staff. And he's like, he nods.
So do we
he
just
does
walk?
like that.
So, I'm sorry.
Do we just walk on the bone, or?
It is.
Is it filled with enough bones that we could walk on that? Or are we probably going to have to swim through it like, a bunch of flotsam sort of stuff?
So, as it gets, you know that out near the edge of the lake, it's pretty firmly packed.
Mm-hmm.
So you could probably walk on it. You're not sure as you get further in, if you're gonna get further in, if that's gonna hold up or not.
Dux starts walking on the bone. He's like making his way from an angle different. He doesn't cut everyone off. He just kind of tries to meet where the two X's intersect.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to roll something in just a moment.
That sounds fun.
Just out of curiosity, Dux is starting to step on some of the bones, heading into the lake.
In what he thinks is a careful manner, yeah.
Anyone else doing anything?
Are we out in sort of like a desert where it gets cold at night?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I'm not going to want to walk around in the cold in wet clothes. So I'm going to strip before I go out.
All right. So John is preparing to engage in nudity. Or relative nudity.
There? Is it really wet out there?
Looks actually
Might
pretty
be.
dry from here, but it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell in this light.
Amelia's a little anxious about the water, so she's gonna walk over and check out everything Lone wrote on the ground.
I'm going to go and walk with Amelia. I'm going to wait for these two to wander into the lake and see what becomes of them.
I think Angie's pretty torn because she kind of doesn't want to go out there, but she also doesn't want Dux to go out there by himself. So she's like on the standing on the tighter packed bones, but hasn't moved out as far as them.
Okay.
I kind of turned backwards, and I'm like, what could go wrong?
Oh well, that sounds like a survive roll to me. So
What?
that's I would like you to roll with backbone, please.
All right, let's do that. A backbone, you said. Roll.
Oh, that's
amazing.
that's a low number. Okay. So, just as you're saying this, John and Angie, you're just sort of looking at him, sort of watching as he's turned around and he said this. What could go wrong? He immediately plunges down as Randy, as Dux, you feel the bones you're standing on give way, and you have found an opening beneath you.
As I'm falling, I'm thinking I shouldn't have said that.
And now you're surrounded by bones. You're slowly. You can see that Dux is being pulled under. He's falling down a little more slowly than one would normally fall. He's not completely gone. He's kind of right now. He's sort of up to his waist. In bones.
I'm gonna run out and try to save him.
Excellent. So, mutely and violently, John races out to assist Dux. So, I think this is
8 others.
I'm gonna give aid. Yeah, that's basically I was thinking about this. This could be actually. You know what? I think though, I'm feeling this actually could be more like shield, just because you're trying to protect Dux.
Both of those are backbone anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's let me drink something. No. One is brawn, the other is backbone.
Either way, I'm a +2.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna say to roll brawn because I think you're trying to you're basically trying to protect.
Alrighty.
Protect Dux. That is a very good roll.
I'm a brawny fella. Especially without the horrible constraints of those binding clothes.
That's right.
It's hard to argue with that.
You race out there, and you're trying to pull him out. So
yep.
Okay. Slowly starting to pull him out. You can tell that the bones are starting to shift, kind of around you a little bit. So it's not very stable out here, but you are starting to pull Dux up, and Dux is starting to find a little bit of footing. I will say, Tony and Amelia, you've come around to roughly where Loam is standing, and you look down and you see the X that Loam has written, and slightly a little bit to the left, you do notice that he wrote, "Whatever you do, don't stand here." No. He didn't have time to write that. Loam just sort of
it was
standing
implied,
there
I'm sure. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Loam's just sort of standing there and watching what's happening with John and Dux.
And I'm going to be sort of laying on the bones like you do with ice.
Smart.
That's how I'm going to treat the bones.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure I'm understanding. Tony's kind of watching this out of the side of their eye and seeing you naked, flat, scurrying across some bones, reaching for Dux. Yes.
That's it.
Great.
Yep.
I'm gonna look at Loam. Loam, how important are these two to us succeeding in what we're trying to accomplish? Need we worry about this? All of this?
John, you
narrows his
hear.
eyes,
Oh.
and he writes something in the sand.
I'll look down at it.
These two, and he just sort of is drawn an arrow pointing in the direction of Ducks and John.
Yes. They are, well, all of that is happening right now.
Dux is crying, and you, John, you hear him saying, I always said this is how I would go.
Specifically,
exactly like this.
it is
In a
true. He did
sea of
always say
bones.
he would sink into a sea of bones while a naked man tried to fish him out.
I had $1 for every time I said that. I wouldn't have to play cards.
It's strangely specific, but somehow.
Hush up, Ducks. You ain't dying while I'm naked.
What? Why are you naked? I can't see you. I'm wondering that now.
Loam. If they don't make it back, what does this do for our chances?
He starts drawing something else, and I will tell you what that is in a moment. Amelia, are you doing anything?
Well, what did he write the first time?
The first time it was
I can really see that.
yeah. The first time it was a question for clarification that Tony was talking about those two out there on the. Out there
I
on
mean,
the bones.
what he wrote when we first got there.
Oh, no, it was an X.
Oh, just an X.
It was,
Okay.
Yeah, it was just another X. It was basically just kind of. It was a Y. He's doing calculus. No,
I thought he did an X and then just kept going, so I wanted to know what he said.
Yeah, no, it was just. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, it's yeah.
I
It was
okay.
It was an X. Basically, yeah, you can tell that you think he was just basically trying to zero in on the middle of the lake, or rather the position he. Actually, it's not the exact middle, so you think he's zeroing in maybe on the side.
So I'll just ask, so do we have to go out there in the middle of the lake where they're going?
And he looks at you, looks down at the lake, and he's like, he shrugs.
Do you know where this artifact is?
And he will hold up a finger as he's actually still drawing the answer to the question Tony asked a moment ago. Hang on in just a second, and he'll answer your question as well. Here's.
I'm sitting cross-legged on the ground with one hand kind of propped up, watching Ducks and John.
Angie, are you doing anything?
She's standing there kind of watching, like slightly nervous, but like kind of like this is like fascinating.
It is, isn't it? So.
Ducks, I feel like we may have invented reality television here.
It seems that way.
I'm just showing for the first thing that Loam is drawing right now. I really should have done this so the viewers can see my terrible drawing skills. So Tony, in answer to your question, Loam has drawn a series of 5 boxes and X'd out 2 of them.
What? That's not good.
And Amelia is drawing. First, it looks like a U.
Damn, Loam's good at Pictionary.
And has, you know what? Actually, let me fix that real quick. There, it's more like that. If you can see, it's basically that looks like it's sort of a U shape, with its top sort of a little jagged line going from one side of the top of the U to the other, and a little X around a little on the left-hand side in the middle of the U. This U shape.
So, is it just floating in the water?
And you will pick up the paintbrush again, because you forgot to pick up the paintbrush. There we go. And you will draw that.
No water. It's not water?
He nods.
If it's not water, then how is ducks drowning in it?
And
So,
what
You
is
met
it?
ducks?
Yeah, ducks you've gotten pulled out now, and so you've got, you're not quite at at that point, sort of in the middle that that Loam was indicating yet.
How dark is it right now?
The moon is overhead, so you've got some pretty good. You can see fairly well right now, because
That's
it's overhead. It's glinting
disappointing.
off these white bones.
Yeah, I was hoping it wasn't that bright. I assume I see John is naked.
You do see that John is naked. Yes.
Probably
We will
can't
not-
miss it.
We will not speak of this again.
All right, let's get out to the middle.
Thank you, though. I appreciate it. I'm
You're
not sure why
welcome.
you're naked, but I appreciate it.
Well, I'm gonna start going out to the middle. If you don't hurry, you're gonna be behind me, and
That's
I'm gonna
the
start crawling out to the middle.
Oh dear.
I really have to look. I don't know that I know why he's crawling. And I'm not sure that I don't think I just stepped on a bad spot.
You know who might know? The coin.
Yeah, it probably does. Because I'm not sure why he's crawling. It's confusing to me. But I'll follow him on an odd roll. All right, I start crawling with him.
You're crawling across.
I'm trying to stay side by side with him, though. I do not want to be behind him.
I thought that would be your preference.
As you're crawling across, you start to feel that it's a little more difficult, as the bones are looser the further in you get. And there are points where it's like, that you're going to be at least partially submerged in them if you're not careful. Because you are lying flat, you're not going to go down very far. Because lying flat is really helping you a lot right now. But yeah, you know that there's going to be a little bit of it's going to start giving as you go further in. Also ahead of you, there's this moment where it seems as though where the top of the sort of right around the area that you're headed for, you see this sort of little billow happen. That's kind of odd.
Look at this,
Kind
Amelia.
of like
How fortuitous it is that these two have gone out and Loam needed something from the middle of that, and we can just, well, wait to see what they encounter.
Lazarus, don't you deal with things under the ground normally? Like, isn't that your forte?
That's mostly where my work has taken me.
Can you figure
This
this
is
out?
not so much ground.
It's all relative, though.
Kind of like you're a cow. Yeah.
That's hurtful.
Hey, what's that moving out there in them bones?
What?
I said, what's moving in them bones?
I presume it's certain death.
Ah.
Well, that's
Holler-
all right.
Holler if you need me.
Maybe it's Senor Buttercup's bones.
Nah, Loam said we don't need y'all, so, I mean,
What?
yeah.
Loam just sort of looks over at Tony.
What? They should know they're expendable.
Yes,
So they
this
don't expect
doesn't-
someone to come charging out for them.
Just
This doesn't look
FYI.
very promising.
You know, now we have to prove them wrong.
Well, I can personally guarantee you, Ducks, Loam said no such thing.
Well, that makes me feel better because, you know, the word of a madman is how I live my life most of the time.
Remember, he's the madman. Not me.
The bright side, if something ets them, then, well, it's busy picking them out of its teeth. We can just go out there and get whatever we got to get.
I'm
And we
glad
don't
we-
really even need everything. Be nice, but
It's true.
I
So,
mean,
yeah, they
better
don't
not
make
to
it back.
die.
They don't make it back, then we know this one ain't a good spot, and we'll go to the next one. Yeah, y'all keep going. Be all right.
Are you proceeding forward? What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is there
yeah.
any dust on these bones? Like, are they old, dusty bones?
No, actually, they're very clean.
They're in
Perfect.
a lake.
Which, so there's no reasonable reason for this. Duck
They're very
starts having
clean
a
and
coughing
very
fit.
dry.
That Duck is having a coughing fit while he's crawling.
Excellent. So I would like you to survive
Again, it's so hard.
one more time for me, please.
Duck can't survive. That's his problem. Survive. I know I have an okay chance with it. Survive.
Yeah, it's going to be once
That's-
again your that's backbone.
Backbone, correct?
Yep.
Oh, great. Perfect.
Excellent.
I was
okay.
about to say, can I assist him? But I don't think I can.
Very few can help people who make that roll. So yeah, you see Ducks crawling out, and he gets very close to that middle point. And it's about then that you see what looks like a very large bone claw come up and go as Ducks is yanked underneath the surface of the bone pile.
How bad could that be?
I don't know. Ducks, you're currently held somewhat by it's actually it's not a hand big enough to grab you necessarily, but it's a pretty big claw of something that is pulling you down underneath the surface. You can still breathe, not as well, but you can still breathe because there is no water here. You see that that these you can barely kind of make out, and it's pretty dark, but that underneath. But you can see that this claw is attached to the skeleton of a larger beast of some kind that looked like it probably was a big lizard. and it is trying to pull you down with it, as it is like trying to turn and kind of dive down through the bones. What would you like to do?
Well, how would I free myself? Do I need to attack? Is there a certain skill I would use, or?
Well, let me know what narratively you'd like to do, and we'll see what
Okay.
what
Well,
move fits to it.
Well, I mean, obviously, Duck doesn't want to keep going down, but he is also aware that whatever we're looking for is beneath the surface at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So if he can still breathe, I don't know if there is any type of airflow from anywhere that would give him a clue that maybe the whatever he's looking for is forward or east or west.
Okay.
If it's under.
So you want to try to take a second to figure that out?
Yeah, to see if, like, hey, while I'm down here, maybe I could find this thing.
So you calmly wait for a moment as this big lizard thing lizard skeleton drags you further down into this pile of bones. This is going to be an investigate.
That seems
so
good.
that's going to be smooth. Roll plus smooth, please.
Yeah, I'm sure I got this.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, I mean, look.
I think we
What
just
could go
found
wrong?
out.
Yeah,
So-
I'm gonna spend water to make that a 12.
That's a good idea. Okay. Like, bolster yourself. Another sip of water as you're being dragged down. And you think that as you're being pulled down, you can kind of figure that there's just a little ahead of you. There's an open patch.
So that's
that
where
you're
I'm gonna
about
try
to get
to
pulled
to.
down past, but you
No,
haven't been
that's
pulled
where-
down past it yet.
That's where I need to get to. So I'm going to try to free myself to get there. I don't, I don't know if I don't know if I would have access to my weapons, but
Your
I can
weapons are on you.
I can use my 50-50 because why not? What else would I do?
Do-do-do.
Let me know when I can try to help.
Oh yeah, well this is before you roll, because I did want to get folks in on this if anyone wants to, because Dux, you have
Yeah, I'm
taken a
gone.
moment, because you have taken a moment to observe. So, John, yes, you noticed that so Dux got pulled under, and then the bones have just gone quiet. A little bit. but you
I'm
still
gonna
hear,
go
like,
after him.
A clacking underneath. You're gonna dive down.
Gonna go dive down and go swimming after him.
You're a good man, John Lazarus.
And do I see the thing that's got him?
Well, let's see. So you're gonna have to find him first. So
Uh-oh.
I'm going to call that a smooth roll because you need to investigate to find him first.
Oh.
So as you are
Hmm.
diving down and heading forward, you think that you're plunging down, and you've noticed two things.
Uh-oh.
One, you don't see ducks directly. It's hard to see things down here. But you have kind of a sense, to a certain extent, of where things might be underneath the earth.
Okay.
You're not technically underneath the earth, but you're alongside where you're at a place where, there's earth on either side of you on the, edges of the lake, so it kind of helps a little.
Earth adjacent.
You're earth adjacent. And as you're kind of looking down, you realize that you have a choice here, because you think you can tell where the bones are moving around, where there's this very large creature that is pulling ducks. And you're pretty sure that's where Dux is, probably. You also notice this kind of open patch that's a little bit further distant. that there might be something in there. You're feeling a certain resonance of something that the Earth is hiding in there. That could be what you're looking for. But
I'm gonna
the patch
go
is
save
moving.
ducks.
The thing is, the patch is moving, so it might not be in the same place in a moment. Okay, you're gonna go try to save ducks.
Yeah.
So what you want to do?
Yeah.
Dive down? Okay. So, as you're plunging down, you want to, how do you want to do this? Do you want to do you want to try to attack the creature, or do you want to try to find him and pull him out? What do you want to do?
I'm thinking, does the critter have like the whole radius and ulna thing, the split arm bone?
It does.
For the size it is, I'm thinking my best bet is to go to the one that's holding on to John, or holding on to ducks.
To give you an idea of scale, it's currently carrying ducks as though he were a very large football. So like about, let's say 2.5 footballs long. If you had one of those tucked under your arm.
Okay.
That's like kind of what we're looking at.
I think I'm going to go for that radius ulna combo spot and grab one of them with both my hands and brace my feet against the other, and just try to spread them apart and pop them.
Okay, so you're trying to break the arm.
Yep.
I'm gonna count that as pretty much an attack. So we're gonna be rolling your brawn. Unless you got to move. Well, you've got.
Nope.
You got a 10.
There we go.
Okay. And your objective here being to pull these apart, which you do. And you kind of hear this. It's weird because it has no throat and yet it screams. You hear this sort of
weird.
This cry.
Sorry,
of the
buddy,
dead
you got my friend.
as you're pulling it apart, and Ducks is about to be launched outward. Let me ask briefly, before we come back around to Ducks. Angie, are you doing anything? I'm just seeing John dive in after.
Yeah, Angie shakes her head. God damn it, Randy. And she unhooks her skirt and like lets it fall to the ground, and she's wearing bloomers underneath that are about like knee length, so her dress won't get caught, and she starts bear crawling towards where they just went under.
Awesome. Do me a survival roll. This will be backbone.
Oh goodness.
Excellent.
Nice.
You find yourself, you're able to do it pretty quickly too, as you're very well balanced among these bones. As you're like moving forward, and you found the spot. What would you like to do? You can tell sort of where, because there's a little bit almost like a sinkhole of bones in the spot, so you can pinpoint pretty much where they are.
She's gonna start picking the bones up that are kind of sort of sinking, so that they're not falling on top of their heads.
Okay.
And she's gonna grab them and just start throwing them behind her to like try to dig them out.
Okay, excellent. I think what we're going to call that. Yeah, I think we're going to call that giving aid in this case to them in a little bit. So what we're gonna go with backbone once again for this. Okay, 7 to 9. All right. Let me find out more about what's going on down there, and then I will see the degree to which they are aided. One other thing, Tony and Amelia, are you doing anything else at this point?
ask Loam, is there anything we can do for that?
Loam basically is just basically will take his staff and he will tap the symbol that he drew, possibly representing the lake, and then he'll be like, just be like, sort of a kind of a. It's not exactly a full shrug, but it's like an indication of like sort of an up to you type gesture.
How far are they out into the lake? Like, can we just see bones, or is there something else filling it?
It looks. I'm going to give you an investigation roll on this. I think that's actually a good idea, as you're looking into the world of the unknown. So please roll smooth for me.
Let's see. So that is plus smooth. I gotta remember how to do the.
Don't worry, Dux is never plus mode.
I think I'm closing. Let's see. 2d6 plus 2. Okay, yeah. Making sure to add the right numbers.
Sure. Yeah. Looking out at the lake. This light shining. There was a time when you saw something mystical happen when you were with the cult. It was mystical and perhaps a bit terrifying, as some mystical force was being called upon. I'm going to ask you what that was. And if you need a moment, that's fine. You don't need to answer me immediately, but if you have an answer, you can tell me what that was.
What did I see happen when they were calling upon? Like, what was going on when they called?
Yeah. What mystical thing did you see the cult do?
I'm gonna say they made a human sacrifice.
Okay.
And then performed some sort of ritual over the body. And I wasn't very close and couldn't see what all they were doing. But it looked like they were putting things on it and they were chanting things. And eventually, it was out late at night in the moonlight. Eventually, something rose back up in that body.
So, your mind is thrown back to that moment as you're looking out across the lake, because you're remembering this kind of miasma that was coming off the body as it rose up. This slightly glittering, that you only catch like in the moonlight if you look at it from the right angle. Some folks call it stardust, perhaps. Coming off of this thing, but it looked kind of wrong. Not a happy sort of stardust, but a very dark energy. And you realize as you're staring into the lake that it's held up by the same stuff. Tony, was there anything else you wanted to do before we go back to the others?
Oh, I've started cleaning my nails.
That's
Sitting
good.
on the ground, just
Hygiene is important.
picking up my nails and just waiting. There's this one hangnail I've been working on for the past few minutes. figure they'll live or they won't, and if they don't, then we'll deal with it. But if they do, then, well, we have what we need, and
Yeah.
hooray.
Yeah, that's a good. It's probably be okay. They'll probably be fine. They're fine. They'll be all right. Okay. So, that being the case, you are you're doing that. We're gonna go back around to Ducks, and so Ducks, you spotted the point you were looking for. You've just been broken quickly out of this arm as it's trying to pull you down beneath where you were needing to go. What would you like to do?
Yeah, everything's not fine. I want to try to get to
What?
the hole or like little chamber that I had seen in passing while being dragged down. Because at this point, I'm like, let's turn a negative into a positive. Let's get this item and get out of this.
Okay. And so you're just gonna kind of like move yourself forward toward that toward that opening.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to call for one more survive roll
Oh, I got it. Don't worry.
because just to get yourself there, as you've got this inertia of this big lizard.
Finally.
Aha! You plunge forward.
Hooray!
You're as this opening sort of is drifting, and you find you position yourself just so that it drifts toward you instead of away. You plunge your arms through this thing, and you find yourself in this little, it's not exactly a chamber. I guess it could be. This chamber of shifting bones
Oh.
that is drifting around inside this place. And you're coming up in the base of this chamber, and you see above you there's this complete skeleton that is clutching very tightly a scythe with a long black handle and a big sharp blade, sharper than any blade you've seen before in your life. At least you think that's what you're seeing, because you're seeing outlines pretty much right now. You're not seeing a lot. It looks like you're getting a little light because someone seems to be moving things away, bones away from above where you are right now. So you're getting a little light, so you are able to see the outlines of these things I have just described. And just the little bit of light that is coming in here is glinting off of the blade of that scythe.
Well, I don't. Am I the only one in here right now? The other
Right now, yes.
Yeah.
If you want, you can wait for someone else, or you can do
No,
something
I'm
else.
going to try to maneuver towards it to grab it, but I'm also trying to be prepared in my head that at some point John might come in here also, and I don't want to accidentally get knocked into the scythe and get decapitated. That's my biggest fear right now,
That
because
could be a
that was the
problem.
second way I said I would go.
Yeah.
So I
yeah,
don't-
mean, it's again strangely specific, but
Yeah.
however you want to sort of figure that out. Yeah. What do you want to do? Want to just sort of
Try to get up there and loosen
Okay,
the
so you-
hand so that.
so just you're going to physically climb up there? Is that what we're looking at?
That's my thought. Yeah,
Okay.
I've been wrong on everything so far, so I mean, one of these things gotta.
Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Yeah. I think what I'm going to call for here, because the closer you get to this scythe, it's kind of like you're sort of clambering up toward it. You can kind of, it's like you can hear something.
Uh-oh.
It's kind of like, it's not exactly a whisper. And it's not like you're hearing it in your ears, really. Around you, you hear all this clacking, this loud clacking as these bones are hitting off of each other. But you're kind of hearing sort of in your head this kind of susurrus. It's like a bunch of whispers. The closer you get to this scythe. And it's almost like you're visualizing something, but you can't quite make out what it is in your head.
I feel like John.
It's come unbidden. The closer you get to this scythe.
I'm trying to not focus on them and just focus on getting the scythe free and being on our way.
Going to grab hold of it?
Oh, man. I really... Okay, I was going to try to hold off on using this item. But I have a tall tail.
Yes.
I would like to know what I know about this scythe and touching it and turning into the Grim Reaper or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
The tall tail.
Like, do I have to put on my cow wrestling gloves or something? Like, what do I...
Well, I mean, cow wrestling is a very respectable sport. But let me see here. Let me look at the tall tale real quick. Here it is.
Why they call some of them cow punches, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure Duck knows. Sure.
Okay. As you're expending this tall tale, you're remembering this story that was told to you. The Scythe of Death. That whoever touches Death's scythe must see and come to terms with their own death. It can only be wielded by someone who has come to terms with their own death.
I immediately start calling for John.
Okay. So, John, there's a very large lizard skeleton who's rather upset with you right now that is kind of like turning and trying to sort of claw in your direction. What would you like to do?
I would like to get away from it and follow the man I just, saved from it.
That's an excellent idea. I feel that it's a very sound idea. So I think we're going to I think we're going to have you attempt to survive, unless there's something special you want to do here.
I'm just gonna look at that, big lizard and say, "Now don't make me tear your jawbones in half. You'll have a rough time down here."
Oh, you're trying to intimidate it?
Sure.
So that would fall under manipulate, trick, or bribe. And,
Alrighty then.
So that would be more of a trick roll. If you want to try to convince it that.
That did not convince.
I don't think it's convinced. However, it will. It sort of looks at you as you you're squaring off, and it's. You can kind of hear this muffled through the bones and the crackling. You can kind of hear Dux's voice, very muffled, calling out that he needs you. As the tail of this thing, the bone tail, whips around. And is going to lash at you. And you are going to take one harm as you are, sort of there trying to stare this thing down. And it's kind of sort of now raising its claws as if it's challenging you.
If I can, when it lashes at me with the big old tail, which I presume is very Haymaker-esque, and that I can see it coming for quite a while.
Well, you can somewhat. I mean, there are a bunch of bones and it's dark, but you can see somewhat because someone is moving bones away from on top of where you are, so that helps.
I am gonna try to use its strike to shove me toward John.
Ah, okay, excellent. So, in so doing, let's see. I think we're going to move this to survive. So we're going to go with Backbone. Awesome. You happen to get in just the right place. You still take the one harm, but...
That's fine.
Nice.
You find yourself knocked immediately backwards and into a space as it's moving past this chamber. And I will come back to you in just a second. I just want to go up top and ask Angie, what are you doing? You've been moving things aside, and you can see that there's something going on, that there is some sort of conflict in one direction, and in another there's this sort of perhaps an open area that's moving around down there a little bit, very slowly.
I think I'm gonna go for the conflict because I think I'm gonna assume it's ducks. Yeah, keep pulling the bones
Okay,
out
so you're
from
gonna
up
start
top.
moving. Are you actually trying to go down there, or are you just digging?
Just digging. Yeah.
Okay.
Just trying to help them.
All right, so yeah, you're forming a kind of a little trench down here
Yeah.
in the middle of the lake. As this is going on. Excellent. Okay, so that's what you're doing. I'm going to keep that in mind. I'm not going to make you roll again, but I just wanted to see that. And the peanut gallery. What's the peanut gallery doing right now?
You're muted. Oh, there you go.
Amelia's just sort of pacing back and forth, sort of rubbing her hands together, jittery, trying to block out the memories from the cult she had been around, and the memories and feelings this is stirring up. Anxious, doesn't feel like there's anything she can go do to help. So just kind of anxiously walking back and forth, unsure of anything to do.
Okay. And you're gonna note that Loam, basically, Loam is gonna notice this, and he will go and he will kind of stand in front of you. He's not exactly blocking your way, but he just gets into your line of sight, and he's just like. It's kind of almost like don't.
She's like, okay. Just kind of rubs her head and just stands there.
Okay. Excellent. And is Tony doing anything?
Yeah, Tony's taken out a small pouch of jerky and is just kind of chewing on a little bit of it, and kind of looks over at Amelia and Loam. They'll be dead or they won't. There's no point in fretting about it. Just sit, relax, enjoy the show, or whatever's going on out there. Angie's out there now. Don't know if you saw that. Do you want something to eat?
No thanks.
All right.
hope they make it. Can't do anything, but hope they make it.
Like you said, if they don't, there are 2 more. Objects, not people. Now, well, I mean, technically we are too, and well, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you get down to that, judge them by this thing you drew on the ground. Maybe we need 3 of us.
Ugh, good point. Angie, are they dead yet?
They're still struggling, so I guess not.
Well, get your bloomers back here, because we can't afford to have all of them, all 3 of y'all die. We can lose 2. We can't lose. We can lose 2. One of y'all got to come back.
John will be fine, but I'm worried about Ducks. I can't leave him here.
Ducks does what Ducks does.
You know he's got bad luck.
I would say Ducks' luck is adequate.
Adequate for him or adequate for you?
Definitely for him, because I did not win in that one.
She's just still flinging him. She's the bones.
Whatever. Y'all go play the hero. I'm just here to... Well, right now I'm eating lunch.
That's totally my jerky. I know it's my jerky.
Could be. Well, let's head back into the chamber. So Dux and John, you're in this bone chamber. This chamber it's moving around. Skeleton embedded in the wall has this scythe, you think, and you can start to you can make out shapes a little bit better. You can see even because someone has been up top moving things. You can kind of hear that it's probably Angie. You can hear that she's digging a little further down now. What would you fellas like to do? What do you fellers like to do?
Are you in with me now, John?
Yeah. So is this the scythe we're looking for?
Yeah, I'm not strong enough to grab it, I don't think. I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh, that's probably true. And I'll grab the scythe.
Just gonna go right up and grab it?
Yep.
Okay. You've, as you get closer to the scythe, you hear this thesaurus of whispering in your head. And, you feel as though you're about to see something. As you get closer and closer to it. Still gonna grab it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to roll plus creep for me.
Oh, that's not good.
I'm good at that. Maybe I screwed up. You have a token, don't you?
Oh, that's true. We never did swap that out. I am carrying that dead man's hand. Okay, that didn't come out right.
2d6. So that's...
Okay.
What were we doing? What were you attempting to roll?
I was attempting to roll creep, but I accidentally put in a plus with my modifier, and...
So the modifier
there you
was...
go.
Okay. So... There we go. Okay, yes.
That one worked for us.
That's an 8. So yeah, you how many? So, John, grabbing this scythe, the clacking sound around you almost ceases and is swallowed up immediately by this thesaurus of whispers. It's like, and everything goes dark, and you smell the earth. And it's a reminder of, like, being back in the mine. Now, how many times has John died? Because John is about to become painfully aware of that number.
I'd say probably about 4.
You are presented with death after death after death. Each of your 4 deaths, rather like they're happening almost simultaneously, with the understanding that there are more yet to come, and you are bound to an unending cycle of death and rebirth. This scythe that you are holding hates you. You can feel the hatred bleeding off of it like black ichor. And you know that every time you try to touch this thing, there's going to be a fight. You feel as though the scythe wants you to plunge it into the nearest living thing.
No, it doesn't.
You feel as though the scythe wants you to plunge it into the nearest living thing.
Okay.
And give you a tiny measure of relief from your cycle of eternal death.
Where's Tony when I need him?
That's what you're feeling, at least. What you do is up to you. And how you react to this is up to you.
I'm going to address the scythe out loud right in front of Ducks there.
Excellent.
And I'm going to say, all right, you sumbitch, if you're that unhappy with the way these things are going, you're going to be even less happy with this. And I'm stabbing myself.
Oh.
Wow. I'm not even sure who you were talking to, but I'm very confused now.
Would you roll plus brawn for me, please?
I sure will.
Roll to attack self.
Oh, that's very good. So you take 3 harm.
Okay.
And you're back to, you realize that you're like, oh, yes, you're standing in this area of shifting bone, holding on to this scythe that appears to have you appear to have jammed into your shoulder.
John, you have something in your.
And I'm just going to start yelling at the scythe. Tastes like nothing, don't it? You enjoy that sand pudding.
It's whispering still angrily.
Someone just shout sand pudding?
Yeah, you kind of hear this muffled sand pudding. Angie, you're closest. You can kind of hear this coming through the wall that you've got now between you and this open area.
John, is that
somebody's
you?
still alive in there.
What the hell is sand pudding? I'm coming in there. And she like starts pulling at the bones. On that
Called alive. Could y'all hurry up and die or cut back here already? Come on. Ain't got all day.
It's a figure of speech. We're coming up.
Yeah. So, Angie, as you're digging, you're going to note this, Ducks. Also, you're going to kind of hear this as the cracking of the bone intensifies, as there's this little wave that's coming up from beneath you. As you feel as though something is surging back around toward the surface.
Oh. That seems bad.
Dux, you can see this little pin, this little area of light opens up, and you can see Angie's face behind it. She's
Thank
pulling bones
God.
away.
If like when you get home and your dog realizes you're home, that level of excitement is the level of excitement I have when I see Angie and I try to jump. The hole may not be big enough. I'm trying to squirm through it. It doesn't matter at this point.
Okay. So this is going to be another roll for survival. So this is going to be, but you're going to get a +1 from the aid that Angie has been providing all this time.
Well, thank you, Angie.
One from each of us.
Yes, please. If you're also trying to get out, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. You
Yeah,
might want
my
to hang
time
out
here
and
is
talk to the
yeah.
lizard. I'm not sure. Oh, excellent. Two of you managed to clamber up and out of this pit. You're now in this slightly smaller trench that Angie has dug into the bone quarry. You can feel the bones just kind of once again. Damn it, the word is in my vocabulary, but it hasn't appeared yet. Undulating.
Undulate?
That's the word. Undulating beneath you. It's not very stable right now. What would you all like to do?
Bear crawl as fast as possible out of there.
Yeah.
Okay, Angie, you're turning.
I'm just gonna.
Angie, you're turning and you're leading the way out. Is back to the closest shore possible. So I'm going to have you make one more roll for me, which will be. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the same either way. It's going to be plus backbone, basically. You're both attempting to survive and give aid, so let's do that. Okay.
All of us, or just?
No, this is just Angie,
Great.
who has created this path for you to get out. Now, Angie, you see by basically this that Dux very sort of is clambered and is a little bit behind, moving a little more slowly, but is getting out. You see you see John has leapt out nakedly with a gleaming scythe in his hands. And
I forgot I was naked.
I didn't.
you have a moment as you're getting to the edge, Angie, that you have the ability to help one of them up out of the bone pit. Which one of the two would you like to help up out of the bone pit?
I think she's gonna go with Dux because she knows John. If John dies, he's coming back.
Okay. So, Angie, you and Dux are making it. You know, it's going to take you a second because Dux is a little further behind. You're sort of like pulling him up. John, this big skeletal, the big skeletal head of this Gila monster looking thing plunges up into the trench. And again you hear this sort of unearthly as it is coming toward you. What would you like to do?
I am going to very forcefully and angrily address the whole lake of bones and just say, just stop it and get me to shore. As if it works for me now.
Okay.
I'm probably wrong, but...
So, I have a clarifying question for you.
Yeah.
Because there are a couple different ways we can do this. Is John trying to... Does John genuinely think perhaps the lake now works for him, or is he consciously trying to trick the lake into working for him?
Oh, he genuinely thinks the lake works for him now.
Please roll plus creep.
Oh. I'm going to actually use a drink of water.
You're going to use a drink of water. This is an excellent time to do that. Bolstering yourself, just wetting your whistle just before you say it so that you can say it with authority. And you get this feeling. The lake is not happy with this arrangement. The Gila monster certainly is not happy with this arrangement. It's just like, it's one arm that's coming out, and it's like... And it raises its claw, and it smashes down, and this big wave of bone comes at you. And throws you bodily when it hits you up and out of the lake. You lie desperately, all of you now on the shore near where Loam and Tony and Amelia are. And I believe that it is there that we shall take our break. And so we're going to go to break for just a little bit. During which time there shall be an interview.
I am hugging Angie like my life depended on it. And I'm not acknowledging that John saved me, because I am, but I'm just not hugging John because I don't trust him.
We'll allow reactions real quick before we go to break.
He's still naked, so...
Yeah, I'm
Nobody
horrified.
hugs a naked miner. It's sad.
I'm horrified that a flying naked man just came flying towards me.
A flying naked scythe-bearing man.
Yes.
I'm chewing very loudly. Wow. Y'all ain't dead. Jerky?
All right, folks, we'll be back in just a few minutes. We'll see you shortly. It's a good thing. Jerky is a good note to end on. We'll be right back. Hey folks, welcome to the break. Greg is here to talk to us about Tales from the Grim. Hello! That's the other side. Hello!
Yes,
where am I?
You are.
I don't know where I am anymore. No, I never know where I am. That's pretty much how things go. But I just wanted to see what stuff you've got going on your channel right now.
Let's see. Right now, we have a Witcher game that's going on Wednesday nights. Fantastic, the dark, hopeless world of the continent for the Witcher and everything. But with a fantastic cast that I have right now, with Trooper, with Josh from Roleplayer TV, from Bill the Forest. We have Prax on there, and I'm forgetting JF with Double Crits, who has been on some episodes of May Black Roses Bloom. They bring a little hope both to my life and that dreary world of The Witcher, and it's fabulous. We're also finishing up a mini series based on Blades in the Dark, The Watchmen, off of the graphic novel, and so we were able to explore that world a little bit and see another little corner subsect of what was going on during the same time that Ozymandias was deciding to drop a squid on New York. So with that lovely thought in mind, we're looking at that. And then we also have a couple things that are just about ready to be announced that are going to be fun. And we're getting into community games and things like that for the summer months, spring and summer months as they come ahead. So we have a lot of fun stuff on the horizon, but primarily the community's there to support one another, play some games, and tell some stories.
Excellent. And I caught some of both of those that you just mentioned, and Witcher has been really cool. You actually have a player there who is actually playing an instrument as his bard character. It is freaking
Correct.
Awesome.
Yep. Actually strumming the lute which
Yeah.
is or lyre. I forget exactly what the stringed instrument is,
Yeah.
but it is fantastic, and never had played it before. Playing it on stream, showing the incredible talent that is Trooper, and just a great moment.
Awesome. Well, I also wanted to ask about with Watchmen. I don't have a lot of experience with the Forged in the Dark systems as of yet. I've played Scum and Villainy, but I haven't
Right.
I haven't really seen much else. And it seems to me that there's like. What do you do when you, as far as, is it at all difficult to inject RP more into those? I found that thus far the games that I played, it's like there's lots of steps of things, but it seems more mechanical than RP. Have you encountered that, or am I just out of my mind?
No, you're absolutely right. It's formulaic in that, you have to jump from one section or prescribed part of the narrative to the next with like downtime actions, the score, you're rolling an engagement roll. A lot of the things that you would RP, instead of sneaking into the castle, you're rolling an engagement roll, and that tells you how well you snuck into the castle, which is kind of different than what you and I are used to as far as telling the story. What I have found is I think it's a great way to take bits and pieces of the system and the framework and pause and tell your story. And I being a GM that likes drama, whenever they're supposed to be safe with downtime is the perfect time to have something attack. And so that's I like doing that, and I think that the system itself is fantastic, and it's really good to plug a lot of things into, and it helps. That structure helps at first, and then I think once everybody gets comfortable with it, like any system, then you're able to do and put your own spin on it. And again, fantastic players that like to tell stories, that's 99% of a GM's job, and I'm blessed to have fantastic players. So I get to sit back and watch them tell awesome stories, and then I occasionally will lean forward and say, let's make a roll on that. And that's my job.
Excellent. Very good. No, it's what I've seen of it has been really awesome. One thing though, if we may, I would like to talk about a show that has recently been on your channel, and that is May Black Roses Bloom. That is freaking epic, this Dragonlance story. I wasn't even really into Dragonlance very much, and I got more interested in it as a result of that show.
It was a fantastic experience. Again, collaborative storytelling is my jam, and that was when for my part, I played a Knight of Solamnia in it, and I was able to play a knight, and something that with a character I had created as a 9-year-old kid. And so in being able to do that, I thought, oh my gosh, how much weight and pressure to play this character right. And then I met everybody else's characters and realized, holy smokes, they have the exact same weight and pressures because of the characters that they've created, either brand new characters or concepts that they had for a long time. Allison had a concept for a character for a very long time. And you're playing in a world, a beloved world, a setting of majesty and such weight with the characters and the experience. And Dawn handled all of that masterfully by weaving in our tales with sort of established tales, but in a different way because they weren't really the same. And it was something never to forget. It was a great one. It was an absolute fantastic one.
Yeah, it's it was masterful seeing that, and so that's I think one of the reasons why folks should folks, you should follow and check out Tales from the Grim. I think as much as possible. They have an archive in there even of wondrous drama on their YouTube and also on on their VODs. I hear if you look, there's a very interesting sort of horror western that's been playing there quite recently. I hear that one's pretty good. You might want to check that one out if you have the opportunity.
You'll be wrong. It's not pretty good. It's excellent.
Well, that's great to hear. That is delightful. So where can folks find you if they want to go hunting for you?
If they want to hunt for me,
they want to go hunt for you. No,
right,
that came out completely wrong. If they want to find you online, where should they go?
You can find me on Twitter at Grimjack21502. Just hit me up there. All the Discord links and everything is right there from the splash of the Twitter. So, follow me over there. We'll talk and rap and have some fun talking about nerdy stuff, which is always the end result of any bad day, that you can sit down with friends and talk about things that excite the creative juices. And so join me there.
Awesome. Well, it's about time for me to toss things back over to me. Or if we're still running around backstage screaming, then over to a delightful moving picture with some nice music behind it, probably. But either way, we'll see you soon. Take care. we are back, and we have gotten out of the the Lake of Bones. It is the middle of the night, and what do you folks want to do? You are getting tired. I will point that out, but that's there is a suggestion that you may want to camp, but the where and the how of it are up to you.
Do we have supplies for that? Or
Yeah, you've
just
got some.
lay down on the ground and try to sleep?
You'd have managed to get some stuff from town before you headed out if you wanted to. Could have gotten some from air.
Sleep does sound nice.
I think that'd be good. We should take watch 2 at a time. There's some dangerous stuff out here.
Oh yeah.
I'm good with that.
All right. Cool.
I'll go first if people want.
As watch?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? I'll join you. I'm a little shaken up by all this bone throwing I was doing.
Oh, thank God it's not John.
Has John put his clothes back on yet?
Just learned not to
Nope.
offer.
Hasn't
Everyone
crossed his
wonders
mind.
me on watch.
Did he bring his clothes with him as we left to go camp?
Oh, yeah. If we're going to leave the lake, he'll go, oh, yeah, and go put on his clothes.
Yeah, I vote we move away from the lake, a ways to camp. That was some creepy stuff. Don't think we want to be there overnight.
Probably best. Oh, hey. While it's all out here, anybody care to, like, patch this hole and maybe this hole? You know, these unnatural ones, not the ones I started with.
I can help some with that.
Okay. Hang on just a sec. Check the thing.
I forgot what role was.
Yeah, sorry, hang on just a second. I'm just looking over something real quick. Also, Alyx, are you frozen?
Oh, I think you are correct.
Ooh. So there may be... Let me just check something here. Yeah. Yep. Ah, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna... Yeah. We're figuring it out. Okay, no worries. So we're gonna take just a second to fix the cameras. Whilst this is going on, just so we can get that together. We'll be right back. sorry about the delay there. Unfortunately, Alyx's internet is giving them trouble. They may be working on it on their internet right now, but they will leap back in if they are able to before we close. If not, then I feel as though Tony is perhaps either scouting ahead or has vanished into whatever dimension Tony vanishes into when they are plotting the things they're plotting. So, which is something I'm pretty sure that Tony can get away with. So, are you folks wanting to camp for the night?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that suggestion.
Yeah. Oh yes, I've just had a suggestion that Tony might have spotted the jackalope, so that's also possible. So yes, so Loam takes you to a point where there's an overhang that you folks you head out just a little bit. So you're still in the area of the bone quarry, but it's not it's not right by the clacking, and you're able to kind of set up camp and take watches. The night passes uneventfully, and in the morning you must make a decision about where you're going to go next, or what you're going to try to do next, and just sort of let Loam know where you want to go.
Do we want to go for another item?
Yeah, I'm in on that.
Yeah. So Loam, where is the cauldron?
He's going to draw some more things now. I really wish I had done a second overlay for this, so I can show all of these strange drawings that I'm making. Yes, here we go. Yeah, he's going to stop and he's going to do like. He nods. He's looking to the east. He makes a little drawing. Actually, yeah, he's just gonna write. Actually, in the sand, it's gonna write near Baketown.
Big town. Not our town?
They said Baketown.
Yeah, near Baketown.
Bake. Oh, I thought you said
Sorry.
big town. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Baketown. Baketown. He just
Oh.
draws an arrow to the east.
Guess that makes sense. Cook things in a cauldron. Cook in
Ah.
Bake Town. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, let's do it.
Okay.
Well, I got 2 days of water.
Oh, speaking of, Angie would have during the rest refilled her water.
Ah, yes, you have a thing that lets you do that, right?
One time per day, yes.
Excellent.
You
Good,
get
good.
to refill the water?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the barback has a great ability to do that.
Right.
That's pretty sweet.
That's astounding. Yeah.
Which is great because I can just re-roll stuff. I don't have to worry about alpha today.
Okay. So yes, I'm sorry. Did you decide if you were gonna head that way or what you want to do?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. How far away is Baketown?
Baketown, it's gonna take you the better part of today to get there. It's probably gonna be late mid-afternoon, probably late afternoon when you arrive. So the sun will still be out,
Okay.
but it will not be at. It's not like it's going to be high noon, so it's not going to be at the prime hours of bakery.
Good, good.
Hopefully this will go better than last time.
You've been to Baketown before?
No, I just meant at last item when we were on the bones and swimming.
Oh, I got you.
You make your way east, over hill and dale. Occasionally you see these coyotes out watching you. And again, it takes you a good portion of the day. You pass through, a couple of different areas that where it gets to the point that among the you're in an area where the caskets get really thick, side by side, and you can pass by more nearly dead cacti. And then you get up to you find that you're rising up a bit higher. You see that you can see this sort of area, this canyon-like area ahead, that you can follow along. Actually, you come up to this area where you've got the canyon in front of you, and Loam follows the canyon for a while until finally you get to a point where it's very warm. And you're kind of at a place where it'll at a point where you've got a trail that can go up and take you up again around the top of the canyon, or further into the or a trail that'll go down into the canyon. And Loam is kind of standing there, and he's like, and he kind of seems to be going on the path into the canyon.
All right.
I don't think we have a choice at this point.
Yeah, I think we're probably better off following where he says to go.
Oh, it's gonna be hot.
It is. It grows warmer and warmer as you're heading toward Baketown. You can see there are bleached canyon walls of the sun on it that you can see some of the light reflecting off of, and it's a little blinding almost. Goes down a few different alleys in this. Well, not alleys, sort of different. You can take a few turns, and he kind of signals for everyone to slow down as you're kind of now walking around this path. You're not in the bottom of the canyon, but you're sort of in the middle. You're at a track going along the middle, and there are some ways down, but as you come around the bend, you can see in the distance, you can see the edge of Baketown, and you see the heat rising up off of it. And sitting just a bit of a ways outside of it, just around a corner from it, from Baketown proper, you see a thing that is spoken of in lore, that it is possible some of you have heard of. You see the cottage of the Sage Hen. This is a one-level little sort of a bungalow, and it stands on two very large, bony-looking chicken legs.
That ain't right.
And it's just kind of, it's not moving much right now. The leg is kind of scratching at one of the legs is kind of scratching at the ground.
Oh, it's not like they look like chicken legs. They're actually chicken legs. Oh.
Yes.
Never seen a house with chicken legs before. Can we eat them?
And you see these.
That is not a stable foundation.
Anyone
Loam-
else getting hungry?
Loam just points at the cottage.
I'll fry them up for you, but I don't know where I'm going to get all that oil.
So are they legs or just skeletal legs?
They're kind of more skeletal.
Oh.
They're clearly not alive in the traditional sense, but they move.
So somehow we have to get the cauldron out of there, I would assume.
That
Hey,
seems
Loam,
challenging.
you think it's in the house?
Loam closes his eyes, reopens them, nods.
Think it's a friendly chicken-legged house or an unfriendly chicken-legged house?
I didn't know there were different ones.
That's going back on that list of things I didn't expect to hear.
I mean, considering everything we've seen out here, I wouldn't want to lay odds on it being friendly.
I wouldn't take those odds. Unless they're really good. I mean, it depends on the money. But no, I wouldn't.
Okay, I have listed under attacks, I guess, for Drifter, a step ahead. Can roll plus smooth to see a route or vantage point that'll cause the least amount of harm to you and your allies if you so choose, and gain advantage against any foes in battle.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to use that on something like this to figure out if we could get in the house, or the best way to attempt getting up there?
1 second. Let me actually let me make sure I've got this in my head properly. Drifter. What's it called again?
A step ahead.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I think this would be a good time for that.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so should I roll plus smooth?
Yep.
Angie, you notice that Duck has slowly drifted behind you? Like almost like he's using you as a protection?
Duck, what are you doing?
I just want to give you a better vantage point.
Are you afraid of a chicken leg house?
Chicken bones are voodoo. Everybody knows that.
I mean, yeah, but
He's not hearing whatever you're saying. That's
So, you, Amelia, you step forward and you're looking carefully. You notice that there are a couple of sort of nooks in the canyons nearby that you see these things that look kind of like vultures, but they're actually bigger than vultures. They're kind of like buzzards, really. And you realize as you look at them, and it's, you're not very close to it, but you think they actually have human faces. So you're thinking it's not that they're probably sentries of some kind. So it's really kind of dealing with them in some fashion, which to cause you the least amount of harm here, it probably would just do to talk to them to see if they will let you in. If you can convince them to let you in, then that might help. That looks like that's the route that will cause you the least amount of harm.
Alright.
Now, of course, inside you're thinking could be terribly dangerous. But that's a future Amelia problem.
Okay. Well, she likes birds. That's why she chose the last name she did. Hey, did y'all see those strange birds over there? I'm gonna go try to talk to them. I'm like, start walking that direction a bit to kind of call out to him. Hello? Excuse me, could we have your assistance, please? We are looking for something and would like to talk to whoever lives in this house here. Or if there's nobody, maybe just go take a look around.
Yeah. One of them sort of gets up and flaps down, and as it does so, it seems to transform somewhat. It elongates, and when it lands on still the legs of buzzards, but it's somewhat more human-like. Its back feathers and wings turning more into something like a cloak. It still has a very strange, not entirely human face that it looks at you with. And it says to you, "Why do you seek the sage hen?"
We are on a mission trying to figure out how to stay alive, maybe solve some problems and help some people in the land. And we were sent to look for a cauldron that we believe might aid us in our quest.
Why should we help you?
Well, you know those caskets that are everywhere? It's a really bad problem, and they're taking over the whole land. And, well, they were getting worse out this way. And we can't do anything to help anybody if we're all dead. And we're running out of water, and it's a really bad problem. We're trying to find more.
Okay. So the closest thing this is to is manipulate, trick, or bribe. I know you're not trying to trick or bribe them necessarily, but it's sort of a manipulation. So I'm going to have you roll trick here.
Hoping it wouldn't be that one.
Yeah, unless you've got something else that, up your sleeve, like either an item or a move.
I don't know. Too many things open here, Bruce. No, that doesn't help me any. Nope. Nothing at all.
Or if you want to do something to change the situation, but that's entirely up to you. All right, go ahead then, and go ahead and roll trick. Okay, so 7.
No, not bad.
So, do you have an offering?
I have some gold. I I have some. Just a second. I realized one of the things here is probably listed in these items I looked at. Would my tall tale be of use to me here?
Ooh. Is this something? Do you ask the buzzard that?
No, asking
Okay.
you.
It occurs to you
says
that, they
yeah.
might trade for it, possibly. If the sage hen is interested in it, then it might work.
Angie, who is like super interested in this bird situation, has kind of walked up and looks in her bag and pulls out some gold. Does gold interest you?
Who will we buy from?
True enough. How about she digs in her bag? So I have hair of the dog in my items list. I'm not sure what that is, but like but I assume it's some sort of alcohol.
I just realized
Yep.
that the fool's gold on here is like an actual item in the thing, not just a piece of fool's gold, which would have added one to my trick, but I had 7 anyway, so it wouldn't change anything. But just now figuring out my items.
Yeah, if you have, do you present that? Is that a thing you bring out to show them, or?
Yeah.
I'll bring out my gold and fool's gold and just hold those up.
The buzzard is like, sort of sniffs the hair of the dog, and just sort of says she might be interested in that. And but then the buzzard will sort of just be distracted by the shiny stuff that Amelia's holding. And just be like, have some?
Okay.
Will reach down with its taloned hand and sort of like pluck one up. The buzzard then turns around and just sort of waves at the hut. And then nothing happens for a second. It flutters forward and it kicks one of the legs. It's like, down, and comes back. And then as the hut begins to shudder, and it sits down. The buzzard flaps up and lands on on a rock nearby, sort of resuming its sort of more buzzardly features as it does so. It sort of is folding in on itself, and it says, as it's looking at its shiny new rock, and it looks up, it says, "Good luck." And the hut is now sitting before you.
I'll walk up to it.
What's everyone else doing?
The sign of the cross.
Is anyone else going in with Amelia?
Yeah.
I'll go up behind her and go with her, yeah.
I guess if everyone else is going, Duck is going.
All right. So Amelia, there is it's a cottage with a wooden front door. Very looking somewhat old and ramshackle.
I knock on the door first.
You knock on the door and it creaks open.
Hello?
You can from inside, it's a little dim, but you can see there's this sort of greenish and purplish light coming from inside. And you can smell something cooking.
Something scares me.
You can see that there's inside this it basically looks like it's this cottage has been packed with a bunch of things. See, hanging from the ceiling there are a bunch of these little, what look like people have made, little stick people.
Oh no.
And other sort of ornaments. And then collected around are a bunch of knickknacks, a lot of different little sort of dolls, and you think you can see just sort of on the and you can see sort of on the far end there's like some shelves with some books. And you think you hear a fire going.
Well, do y'all think we should go in?
Angie,
We came this far.
Angie like knocks hard on the door frame. And
No,
yells,
don't do that.
Hello?
I'm afraid it's gonna fall.
We don't want to just walk in your house.
Come in.
Oh, thank you. Beautiful home you got. I really do like all these little figures you got up here.
Are you entering?
Yeah,
Amelia
she's
very
saying that she...
reluctantly steps inside and stays close to the door.
You can see that some of the things that are it's interesting because as you can see now that there's a sort of chimney-like affair that has been created, sort of it's a thing like a fireplace that is in here, and over it is hanging a little cauldron about that big. And in the middle of the floor there is a looks like some kind of symbol has been drawn in some sort of purple phosphorescent something. Purple phosphorescent paint of some kind, maybe? In the middle. And near the stove, there's also a stove. There's other stuff cooking, sort of near the fireplace. You see a tall figure who turns. This figure, she has sunken eyes. She's wearing a long kind of poncho, and you see near her there's this long kind of weird staff that's leaning up against the wall. She has long hair and she's wearing a broad-brimmed hat. Well, actually, yeah, she's taken the hat off. She's inside, and so she turns around, and so you can see her long hair is kind of very bedraggled. She's looking at you.
I lean into Angie and say, I think she's a witch.
Probably.
To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit? Why are you here? You come to join the flock?
We need your cauldron.
We are seeking out water. Be nice to seek some answers about all the cauldrons, but first of all, water. And we were told the cauldron might aid us in our quest.
You bring one touched by that accursed trickster into my house, she says, pointing a bony finger at Ducks.
I look behind me.
By what trickster?
The trickster. One who even now battles with death.
Well, we could have him step outside. We wouldn't want to offend you.
Too late. No. Why do you want my cauldron, child?
We were told to take it to the cult of death. Is that what it's called?
It's one of its names.
And okay, to bargain with them, and we're in desperate need of water, and we're doing everything we can to try to find more.
You spoke to my servant outside about the caskets. And you wish to give death more of an edge in this place?
Not more of an edge. Hopefully we
You
could
already
have...
carry their weapon, she says, pointing at the scythe.
That's new for us.
We just found it last night, and, well, the thing is, if we're dead, then they have us too. And if we can bargain with them, maybe we can keep them ending up there too.
So, can I ask you a question?
Is that not in and of itself a question?
I guess I can then. Okay. You're right. But the question I was gonna ask was, you said something about death and this trickster waging a war in this land. Is that why everything's so messed up?
Well, the old gods come back when what is left of humanity is unable to grasp what they built. Of course, you should know. Have you not experienced that conflict enough yourself, Lazarus?
The whole dying and not dying thing?
Of course.
Yeah, this stick hates me.
I can
Pretty
imagine.
badly.
Nothing death despises more than someone it cannot ever lay claim to full time.
Well, I brought you this, and she pulls out the bottle. I know this is kind of hard to come by, so I would trade you for that cauldron there.
Angie, I feel as though I'm going to ask you to make a roll in a moment. I think I'm going to ask you to roll for me. Actually, before you do, just after a fashion, you're seeing a lot in this place that is actually of some interest to someone of a of a mixologist's bent. And you do feel there is a certain, like, now I'm going to make this clear. This is not something that you feel about, every villainous, horrible, supernatural creature you come in contact with, or even you haven't. This is not something that you would feel about most. But looking at the sage hen, you kind of get this feeling as though, if you had made some poorer choices along the way, this could have been you.
Okay.
To a certain extent. But that in mind, as you are offering this, I kind of need to know if you are... So you're recognizing there is something slightly ritualistic about this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm wondering is, in Angie's mind, as she is offering this, is this something where she feels she is more playing into the ritual? Or is this something where she just wants to swap the freaking thing for the cauldron and get out of here as soon as possible?
I feel like Angie's probably more of the latter. She's like, get it done.
Okay.
But, to your point, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if she realizes that's even a thing at this point.
Well, now knowing what the instinct is on Angie's part, that helps me. So I would like you to roll trick.
Okay. I'm gonna take a drink of water.
Ooh, good time to do that. Yes, you bolster yourself. Have you tried that?
This?
Yes.
Oh, I make this.
You make it.
I make this.
You know what, and so therefore you, have you been tempted to serve it to anyone?
Oh, I own a bar, so I serve it to people all day long.
And you know what the consequences are.
Yeah. We're all out in the middle of the desert. We're gonna die anyway.
She nods slowly. Well, I I can see then how it might be good to do this as a trade between colleagues.
She smiles very sweetly.
She's going to reach over, and she picks up the cauldron, and she ladles out the stuff that's in it into some bowls. And she says, "Yeah, put it on the table there, if you would, please, miss."
She sets it down lightly and turns
I
and
shall
holds out her hand for the cauldron.
She hands it over.
She looks inside and looks up and smiles. Well seasoned, well used, well loved. Thank you. This is a gift.
And same to you. May you find what you need with it. Watch this one, she says, pointing to Ducks. He is not long for this world. And this one is too long for this world. she says, pointing to John.
Yeah,
I
a bit of
fit.
balance then.
I fit.
Be careful on your journey, for the
So-
Caskets will hear you.
If we ever have the option between seeing death or the trickster win, which one should we be hoping for?
What? The trickster.
I've stopped playing that game myself. I hate both of them. If it were up to me, I'd choose death if I had to, but then only if I really had to. Then again, some of us, shall we say, have hopes to provide an alternative. And with the right influence, she says, sort of looking back at the hair of the dog that's been provided, which she is reaching over and picking up. Perhaps that can be achieved.
Well, all right. If we can help you out with that, you let us know.
Well, you feel free to come back and we can talk about that any time. As long as you don't bring that scythe. And you don't bring that one. She says, again gesturing to Ducks.
Now I feel like it's personal.
He is watching through you, you deluded little man. You are his plaything, and he is draining you of your final moments. I would be rather upset at him were I you.
Angie's gonna stand up straight and go, well, on that note, I think we ought to head out. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate you.
If you add you can find mandrake or cactus extract to add to what's left in there. Perhaps that will help his cough for a while.
What cough?
Indeed.
Mandrake. Okay.
Well, that was creepy.
And she's starting to pour things into bowls and stuff, and just basically. She's sort of watching, just sort of waiting to see if you're going to leave or not, and she's just sort of. She's setting this small table.
I'm gonna start backing out the way Tony backs away from people.
Yeah.
I'm not turning my back on her.
As we're leaving, I'll just say, "Nice to meet you, ma'am." And I'll turn my back and mosey on out.
I just follow.
Angie, like, I said, now bye-bye now, bye-bye, as she shuts the door after him.
You exit the hut, and as you leave, it stands up again. And Loam has been sitting waiting outside because there's no way in hell he was going in there.
Smart.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go in. She hates him.
Oh. She seems like such a nice lady.
Real joy to be around.
It was certainly interesting. Well, we have 2 of the things now, though. You reckon that's enough?
I'd say.
Loam
I
looks
think
at the
so.
sun, which is heading towards setting, and Loam is like, just nods.
We probably ought to go ahead and get at this.
Should we wait till the morning?
Maybe we should head the direction we're going, at least, get some more use out of the day we've got.
Yep.
Running low on water.
Maybe Tony will come back with that jackalope leg.
Maybe.
Oh, she'll pop out from under something. She always does.
When you say that, I look behind me just to make sure. I don't know.
Nothing yet.
She could be hiding in your boots with the jerky.
The jerky's actually nearly done now,
Thought
by the
about
way.
that.
Yeah, my boot jerky.
It's nearly ready. It's almost time. So, are you planning to camp here, or are you going to start head? Are you going to try to get out of the canyon first, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not want to be in this canyon at daybreak. No.
No.
All right. So, yeah, it's nice and cool now. It's not going to stay that way.
Yep.
You make your way up and out of the canyon. And as the sun is setting, you start to hear sort of a low keening as you look at the horizon ahead of you to the north, dotted with hundreds and hundreds of caskets, and far in the distance, the rusted butte. And that, I think, is where we are going to bookmark it for this week.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Okay, folks. Well, let me just fix my. Let me just fix this here to make sure it's working. Is it working now? Yay! Awesome. All right. We're gonna go ahead then and do our outros. We have reached the end of day 2 in Casket Land, and just one more day to go. Let's go around and feel free to say where folks can find you and any final thoughts you had about this session, favorite moments or what have you. And we will start with Joel.
Well, I have enjoyed this. I've continued to enjoy this. I feel like I may be talking too much and I'll shut up a little bit on my own. And to prove that point, rather than point you at some links, I'm going to deliver a very brief diatribe. As we are going through June and into July, those of you who live in the Southeast know that school's going to be starting up in August. Those of you who live elsewhere, probably not looking at it till September. I heavily encourage you, if you have any relationship to schools, kids who are in schools, you're a parent, look at the CDC and your state guidelines. Ask your local school district what's going on. And if there's anything you're not happy with or you find that it doesn't really suit your tastes, don't just talk to your local school district, although you want to. Remember that all those rules are usually set by your states, State Department of Education, and your state legislatures. That's who you want to talk to, and you want to do it soon. Thanks.
Thank you. Very cool, very cool. All right. Well, now that said, that's very important. That's very important. Now let us head over to Marlo.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marlo. Joel, that was amazing. Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it. As a Texan who is dealing with this right now, super important.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a child, so. But yes, I am Marlo. You can find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is above. I am doing lots of one-shots, lots of limited runs, trying to get in some longer games and stuff. But I am doing a lot of stuff. I am also a podcaster. I am on a 5E podcast called Sins of the Father. We are kids looking for our missing fathers, and our stats show it. So every fight feels like a serious battle. And right now we're in a side arc about some treasure hunting pirates. So check us out. Thanks a lot.
Very cool. Were there any final thoughts about the session?
I love this session, and I'm sad that we've got only one left because all of you guys are amazing. And I really wish Tony was here because she would have really given the Sage and a run for her money.
That would have been so good.
She adds so much to each session. But at least in character, Tony wasn't out here for the water. She was out here to find that jackalope. So
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
At least it works in character.
It does. And I'm sorry, I didn't ask Joel. Were there any other final thoughts about the session you wanted to give us?
No, not really. I appreciate everybody just rolling with my nakedness.
No one rolled with your nakedness.
Again, I did not really expect to do. It just seemed like the thing to do. Because I would have sworn that was water out there. I would have sworn.
It was behaving just like water. Who knows? Understandable, though. All right, and now over to Kenny.
My name's Kenny. I don't really have many social media presences, and that's in part because I am a teacher. So, we try to limit that from that perspective. But I've had a good time. Dux has learned that you should never ask what's the worst thing that can happen. And I'm having a blast. I'm looking forward to seeing the finale.
Excellent. Me too. And finally, let us head over to Kestrel.
I'm Kestrel, right? You can find me on Twitter mostly, occasionally on Instagram. I play in random one-shots I can get here and there. No ongoing streams, at least once this one's over. I'm playing my first game of Monster Hearts on Saturday with friends who roll dice, doing a fundraiser for Trevor Project and Black Lives Matter group. I can't remember which one. But that's going to be really fun. Really looking forward to that. So check that out. And I'll be starting a Patreon next week for my cosplay. So that's big and scary and exciting. So I will be posting about all of those things on Twitter.
Awesome. And were there any final thoughts about the session?
I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad we were able to get a second item to hopefully aid us in our bargaining next week.
Very
Considering
cool.
I have a 0 on Trick, I should probably leave the bargaining up to somebody else.
Unfortunately, good thing I didn't interfere. I have great Trick, but she didn't like me, so.
Yeah, there's that.
Well, if she didn't like you because of your connection to death, maybe the death cultist will.
Well, yeah, she yeah, she doesn't like either Death or the Trickster. She's not fond of either one. And she had a party of visitors who had one marked by each at this point, typically, in one way or another. All right. Well, and again, I'm going to go ahead and put Alyx's contacts there. Alyx's Twitter in the chat there for folks who want to follow them. They're a wonderful person, and so please do check out everything they're doing. But that once again leaves me. I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is yesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and some of my fiction and games I've been working on, along with links to game signups and applications to join our Discord. One more time, as a reminder to folks who might be inclined to aid some charities, we have a donation drive that we have with our Sprawl campaign for the Bale Project. Go check that out. I'm putting that link up there. And then also, folks may want to consider supporting Campaign Zero, which is an organization dedicated to ending police violence. Very much want to make sure that, if at all possible, happens, because that would be very, very helpful to, humanity's continued existence. Little things like that. But what am I doing? So on Thursday afternoon, I will be over on Encounter Roleplay running Deadlands Noir, Dreams of Dust. It's a mini campaign that is set out in the Dust Bowl region in 1935. And there's a traveling carnival that has been investigating strange things in town, and things are coming to a head there very, very soon. So we're nearly at the end of that little mini campaign. Very interested to see where that's going to go. On Thursday night, back over here on this channel, we have our regular weekly campaign of The Sprawl, run by guest MC Brian. It's a cyberpunk game, also powered by the Apocalypse, where we have a lot of fun, and I'm playing the kindest cyborg in the world who kills people. And then on Saturday nights on this channel, I run Invisible Sun, The Edge of Paradox. We're still on a train, very close to getting off the train, and indeed also to our hiatus, which will come at the rail line's terminus. So we're very much looking forward to the next couple episodes, and that'll pretty much take us there. And then over here on Sunday afternoons, we do one-shots. The one-shot coming up this Sunday afternoon is going to be The Deep Forest. That's a game that is it's a hack of The Quiet Year by the same author, and it's about a group of supernatural creatures or other creatures in a forest who are dealing, now have a year of relative peace after human occupiers have left. So it's about just sort of decolonization, and so it's I think a very cool game to play. Also, I personally actually have more fun with that than I do with Quiet Year, so we're going to be having fun with that. So again, that is Sunday afternoon, and then Sunday evening we get back to our Dark Matter campaign, Ghosts of Saltmaw. That's Ghosts of Saltmarsh in Space, run wonderfully by our station master Alyssa, and I think we're about to take on another job where we head into an asteroid and fight a bunch of space zombies. I cannot wait. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Monday night, I am over on Salty Sweet Games playing in their 5e campaign Strange Invasion, Assault on the Barrier Peaks, where I play an angry dirt wizard. And then, of course, back around to Tuesday nights, where we will be here for the finale of Casket Land.
Hooray!
Do all come and tune into that, if you may, if you might. Sign-ups right now are still open for 50 Fathoms. That's next month's short campaign that'll be starting after Casket Land. That again, we'll be doing session 0 and then the 3-session arc pretty much. And it's a Savage Worlds game, basically set in a fantasy world filled with water. The land was buried under 50 fathoms of water. And there are all manner of sort of nautical races, fantasy races that go along with it. And then humans get sucked in from Earth, which is also fun. So sign-ups for that end tomorrow. That is Wednesday the 24th. If you want to get in on it, go ahead and sign up. I'm going to be casting it, after sign-ups end tomorrow. Just very eager to get back. We had one shot of it, and I wanted to try something a tiny bit longer, just to see how it felt, because I've always wanted to. So very much looking forward to that as well. If you want to sign up for anything, you go down below to RPG sign up, or go to gymyesthatgym.com and click on Game Sign Up. As always, beginners are welcome. So when we hit the end card, I'm going to send a raid over to Lindy, Laughed Love Lindy, who is running her Ravenloft campaign, which looks like has been going on for probably more than a year now. So we will go and look in on that. Feel free to hang on as we go over there and say hi to them with us. That will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will see you next week. Farewell.